Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Reese-c-clear, aka Minister Maurice. Happy New Year, happy 2025, if I haven't said it already. The Lord is saying that don't focus on 2024, don't focus on the old things, for He is doing a new thing. He is doing a new thing this year. Behold, can't you see it? Some of you guys are in the middle of the wilderness after last year coming out of your Exodus. The Exodus was Him releasing you from things that you were calling out to Him about. Some of you in some cases didn't even know that you were calling out to the Lord. And in other cases you did call out to Him, but you had no idea that He was going to release you from it. So, you know, a lot of you guys have made it into the year kind of like feeling like a push in the back, while others have made it into the year feeling like, oh, it's mine, because you already felt exhilarated knowing that what was in store for you this year was the promised land. So the Lord is telling you that, you know, He still has your back. He still has you covered. All of the situations and things that He removed you from was because He is a God that watches over His word to perform it. He was listening. He's been with you, been listening to you your whole entire life. And last year was the year that He really just wrapped up in your life. He cut off relationships that were no longer serving you. He cut off all sorts of jobs, all sorts of obstacles were removed out of your way. And in some of these obstacles, they were things that you yourself had no idea or would not have chose to have these things, people, places removed out of your life had you would have been given a choice. So that's why He is telling me to use the Exodus to bring this to you, because the Exodus with God's chosen people was not something that they had a choice in. It was the Lord deciding, look, I'm going to deliver and make good on the promise that I made to your forefathers and your fathers before them. And now you are the children that is going to reap this reward. And I'm pulling you out of this thing. No longer is people going to be able to use you the way that they was using you. No longer are you going to be cast to the side like you was nothing. No longer are you going to go home after a hard day's work and be lonely. No longer are you going to be surrounded by people who don't even acknowledge your work. They just get what they can get out of you, and then you mean nothing to them, and then they don't even appreciate it. It's just another day, another time for you to do it again, over and over and over and over and over again. The Lord pulled you out of situations like that, and now this year you're at the precipice. Some of you are feeling like, oh, well then how am I going to pay my rent? What am I going to do about relationships? What am I going to do about companionships? What am I going to do about these things? And that is your wilderness period. Some of this portion of this year is going to be like a wilderness for you. That is where you get your new skill set, because the Lord, He transforms you by the renewing of your mind. But in the process of renewing your mind, He is changing the things around you so that your mind can fit what He has for you. He is getting you prepared for the magnitude of the blessing that is already yours, getting you prepared for the magnitude of what is already on your life. So that new skill set is what God is going to be paving the way for you to have within this year. Those new people that are going to be around you, don't worry about the fact that right now you may be feeling like, oh, I'm lonely, I don't want to be by myself. The Lord is telling you, no, you're not by yourself. You're surrounded. For the angels of the Lord are surrounding them that worship Him, to them that praise Him. He's telling you that it is going to be a-okay, but you just have to trust in Him. You just have to continue to have faith in Him, and you're going to shine like the sun. What the Lord has in store for you, eyes have not seen it, ears have not heard it before. And now that you've made it onto this side of the year, then that's exactly why He's doing all this. And He's telling me to let you know that this is what it looks like on the other side of better. This is what it looks like on the other side, on the promised land. This is what it looks like, because the Lord is getting you prepared for the blessing. He ain't gonna just shoot you right there. See, the children of Israel, they had to pass through the wilderness because they were used to their old mindset. They were used to being slaves. They were used to being used. They were used to being picked apart. They were used to carrying heavy burdens. They were used to being considered nothing, less than nothing. They were used to not mattering. When reality, they were God's chosen people. They were the kings and queens of the earth. They had inherited the Lord Himself, the most powerful creation that there is. And here you are, here you sit, here you stand. That's who you are to God. That is who you are to Him. He is seeing you, and it has you in this same light that it's time for you to go forward, and He has you covered through it all. You're going to wind up with a new job, a new career with the new skill set. You're going to wind up with new friends, new shelter, new covering. You're going to wind up with a whole new sunshine. It's going to feel like the light of the roaring sun has just risen and just captivated you through your whole entire body. I'm talking about the peace that surpasses all understanding. Is finna envelope you and surround you. People are going to be looking at you like, man, who is she? Who is he? You're going to be unrecognizable in the way that you move in the world because you deserve it. God is calling that part out of you that is the greatest part of you that he created. The greater being that is in you is the only one that can actually handle the blessings that the Lord has for you. So that's the reason why he called you forward. That's the reason why you seem like right now you don't understand it. That's the reason why, because this thing that God has for you is something that he is tailor making it, and he's not going to let you just fall over the cliff with it. But there's not going to be many that understands it at the time, because it's just you in God's light. It's just you in the path. It's just you in the plan that he put in your heart. And it's just you and him. So get into your word. Get into the word of God, because you get no more God than you do his word. Count yourself all joy. Pat yourself on the back that you have even been selected for a time like this. As we're coming into the end of all creation, God has decided that, hey, I'm going to let you get in. There's so many in the world today that are not going to get this, that is not going to understand that. And that is what God has done for you. He has called you out of them and told you that you are separate, that you are chosen, that you are a child of God. And trust me, you already know what I'm talking about, because you've lived your whole life knowing that there was something special about you, knowing that you were different. You didn't have to have no vindication from nobody to notice that you was different. It's just that you never really did like the same things that everyone else did. So it was only a matter of time for the Lord had called you into the path and showed you who you really is. And you know this already. So don't think it's strange that you know that it's going to be people that ain't getting it and ain't understanding it. That's because God wants you to see that even though you blessed, even though you gifted, even though he got the blessing for you, that's for you. It's not for everybody. Everybody couldn't go, and he's got you in a bubble right now to where no one can penetrate it. The enemy can't get in. All of his fiery darts are going tink, 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 tink off of that magnificent shield that the Lord has put around you. Because the angels of the Lord, they are encamped about them that worship the Lord. And every time that the enemy tries to roar at you, he is not going to find you where he last found you at, because you done walked up out of that thing. So the Lord wants you to know that even though it may not look like it right now, even though it may not feel like it right now, even though you done probably watched countless videos up until this point with people saying, welcome to 2025, oh, the Lord said this, the Lord said this, he's telling you that this is real. It's real. God is not a liar. He watches over his word to perform it. He is doing the impossible for you right now, because for God, everything is possible. Even the impossible is possible for God. And he is going to make you look impossible to the people that you were surrounded by last year. It's going to look impossible. Like, how could he have made it that far? How could she have done this? How could they have changed their whole mind? How could they be working at a new job? How could they be living in a new apartment? How could they be smiling now? How could they be so happy when they were just so sad? How could they be having people that really care about them right now when we was just using the mess out of them? How could they be having this so much better life? I thought that they was losing. I thought I had left them down. I thought that I was winning, because that's what the people that misused you thought. They're going to be one step away, but never be able to get close enough to you. It's going to be impossible for them, because we serve an impossible God. It's an impossible God that has called you out. It is an impossible God that is walking you through your wilderness. It's an impossible God that has made you the promise. It's an impossible God that is doing everything for you. He is shattering every glass ceiling that was once impossible, so that you know that you're a child of God and that everything is possible for you. So stay tuned and stay right with God.